Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 8th round of the Tier 1 Championship here at Invictus Racing League. It's Canada for tonight's sprint action here in Montreal. I'm delighted to say that we are back live streaming again around this fantastic circuit, and I'm also delighted to say that joining me, Jack TM53, in the commentator's box tonight is my very good friend and co-commentator, Mikey. How you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad, thanks, bud. Yourself?
Well, I think as we both said in the the pre-lobby chat, we're both feeling a little bit under the weather today, so it's going to be a matter of survival, isn't it? I think.
Indeed, but it's Canada. It's my favourite one. I could survive, and I'll crack on.
Yeah.
So I'll be a big boy about it and just crack on.
Yeah, well, we'll get through it as best as we can. It looks like we've got a dry qualifying session tonight, and we'll have a chat shortly about all the different permutations of the championship that are heading into tonight's race, and also about this wonderful circuit and what to watch out for. Mikey, there's a comment in the Discord if you want to have a little browse over that. But good evening to everybody who is watching so far. Before the action has even got underway around Montreal. One shot qualifying ahead of us for the sprint event. If you're just new to Invictus Racing League and you want to know how the format works around here, for sprint weekend what we have is we have the one shot qualifying and then we go into the sprint. We have a little breather typically. Mikey will confirm whether that's the case and how long it'll be for. And then we have another one-shot qualifying that will set the grid for the main race. So for those that, just a quick reminder, the top 6 drivers in the sprint get points, from 6 points to first down to 1 point for 6th. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the main race, the top 12 score points, as is always the case in IRL.
No, to answer your point there, Jack. Yeah, it'll be about a 10-minute break. Give the guys, time to drink or whatever, or stretch the legs a little bit. Just take a quick breather before we go on to the main event. So, but that'll obviously be between the sprint race and the one-shot quality for the main race.
Yeah.
So,
it's 10 minutes too long. 6. I think 6. I think 6 is a quite nice number, actually.
Yeah, but then see, I'm thinking if I was in this scenario myself.
Yeah. I'm also thinking if I was in this scenario myself, because I think if 6 minutes is long enough for drivers to jump into the toilet, get a bathroom break, or go and get a drink if they need to, I think that's just enough time. Yeah, it's just enough time to do both. Hello to ARL, hope you're doing alright, mate. How are you feeling about tonight's race? Give us a comment. And session due to start in less than 23 seconds. Mikey, who are you going to pick to ride on board with? Because this is an important track for one-shot qualifying, because track limits are harsh around here.
I'm going to try and get to Shortbread.
Shortbread.
Yeah, so...
The man who's fourth in the drivers' standings, and realistically, if he wants a proper shot at the championship tonight, he needs a good result. So let's cut to him.
Hold on, you have to bear with me. It's trying to get up to it.
I'm also trying to find him too.
With can do. Oh, I'm being pushed around here. Wait. Why don't you go from the bottom? Easy thing though.
Well, I've got on board with Shortbread, so I'll take us through the right-hander and into the left-hander we go at turns number 6 and then on to 7. Mikey, over to you.
Well, obviously onto the first DRS straight, going up to turn number 8, which then goes into 9. This is the chicane. Obviously, this is then what would be the pick-up points for the next DRS zone, coming to turn 10, going into the hairpin of turn 11 with the right-hander. And obviously, let's say 10, 12.
Yes.
So and obviously onto the DRS straight. I'll just get Paul back in if you can take over for.
So Shortbread will be blasting towards the final couple of corners. He's on a good lap so far. Down through into the chicane where the Wall of Champions is on the right-hand side. Runs quite nicely over to the right-hand side of the door. It looks like he's going to be third, maybe second row of the grid. It's Jell Geeson who gets pole position then on a 1 minute 9.3. That was a really tidy lap from Shortbread, but just in the last sector of the lap, it just seemed to go the other way in the form of the Mercedes and the Alpine driver in front of him. It wasn't as if Shortbread made any mistakes. It was a nice tidy lap. But we've got the Dutchman, Jell Geeson, on pole position by 0.04 of a second. Shortbread is in third. The championship leader, Sydney, is fourth. Then it's the Steps and Owen rounding out row 3. Sunboy and Kent are inside the top 8. And then Ginger Tiger and Denmark are the last 2 drivers inside the top 10. Everybody else, Paul Race Tech, ARL, Ashtube, Milo DeBoer, Nitrogash, and TTG Nathan, not setting a lap time. We also have a driver missing from 11th place for reasons unbeknownst to me. I'm just trying to figure out who that is, but that was a bit of a peculiar one.
Paul. I think he's unfortunately disconnected, but we're going to try and get him back in. I do apologise about my notification sounds. Just give me a second when this loads in. I could try it.
So we've got the sprint race here. You've got the fans behind their glass. It almost looks a little bit like that they're being separated from the crowds. It's almost like a contagion zone, the way that they've done that within the game. I'm sure that's not intentional. But in any respect, big championship fight today. It is a really, really important round because I'm not going to go through the driver standards. I'll let Mikey do that during the break later on. But realistically, you're looking at Sydney, Bjorn de Boer and Jell Geeson. Those are the 3 drivers who are directly involved in this championship. Shortbread, he's 33 points back. He needs a big swing tonight for it to really come back into his favour. So we'll wait and see. But it's mainly at the moment between those front 3 drivers. And yet, one of those 3 drivers just showing an incredible level of consistency from Jell this season. Not had a race victory yet. And I say yet because he's overdue. He's long overdue one after missing out on one of the most incredible climaxes to a Grand Prix we've ever seen at IRL last week at Zandvoort, when he just missed out by a 10th of a second by the Alpine of Bjorn de Boer, who is cutting that gap down to Sydney in the Drivers' Championship, he's led from pretty much the start of the season back at Mexico. He's been right on form. And it's kept it wide open in Tier 1. It's really good to say. Jell saying that apparently main race is going to have some rain. As Paul disappears from the session again. Let's see if I can invite Paul in as well. He's having some real issues, isn't he?
Yeah, he's saying he's having issues. Obviously, when you get into the game, it's only allowed to spectate.
Can you
hold on.
Get control of his car from there? I'm just wondering.
I don't think he can. Because he'd be shown in the garage still, won't he?
Yeah,
he's the same view we would have.
He's definitely still in the game because I can just about see the Red Bull pit wall and his name is there. So it's not as if the game's kicked him out or anything. He could possibly still get control of the car. But obviously, technical issues at this point in the season. And he's had such a good season as well, Paul, with his double podium he's had. He missed last week, obviously. He didn't score last week at the Netherlands, but it'd be really nice for him to get into race. If he can't get in for the sprint, thankfully, he should be able to get in for the feature race, but it's less than ideal prep.
Just troubleshooting some scenarios. Please bear with us. We do apologise for this minor inconvenience to our broadcasting schedules.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. But the drivers, they have to navigate 14 corners on this race circuit, 4.361 kilometres, 2.7 miles for those that use, the proper good old mileage. The track record actually was set back in 2019, so way before COVID. We're going back 6 years, and it's set by a driver who is no longer on the Formula One grid. I'll give Mikey that clue as he figures out who it might be who's got the fastest lap around Montreal. Don't need an answer from you just yet, Mikey. But for anyone else who's in the comments, there's quite a few of you. If anyone can figure it out, who has the track lap record set in 2019? Do put a comment in.
Just wait till I've been asked the question first, because I'll know cheating and checking. So, from the looks of it, fortunately, I don't think Paul's. No, okay. Once again, apologies about this.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate the way that we're. It seems that every week with Tier 1 there's something on a Monday evening where we don't seem to have the ability to have some form of smooth connection since the second half of the season has begun. It genuinely did kick things off at Australia back for what supposedly was supposed to be round 6. But here we are, having Australia back for our round 10 as Paul Racetech has now rejoined the lobby. So hopefully we can get things underway.
Right, there we go. I have given our lovely drivers the lovely news. So 12 laps, and this beautiful circuit.
Shortbread's got a guess in there. I don't know if you could. Do you want to do you want the question again, Mike?
Far away, yeah. Just to make sure. I'm not looking at it. Because
who got the fastest lap and currently holds the fastest lap record around Canada? Montreal set the lap time in 2019 as we get underway for our formation lap.
So 2019, so it's like probably Seb.
Is that your final answer?
A bit nervous, but yeah, why not? Let's go with it.
So Shortbread has said it's either Sebastian Vettel or another driver, and the correct answer is the other driver is Valtteri Bottas.
Well, technically he is on the grid of a
Next
reserve
year.
capacity. No, on a reserve capacity. You the way you made the quiz out is like no longer within the sport. Technically he is still in the sport.
I mean, you're making assumptions about the question now, but you know. But we've got 16 drivers in for tonight. It's TTG Nathan at the back of the field. We've got a split strategy for the race. We've got hards and mediums. The race strategy actually suggesting a one-stop for those that starting on the mediums. Surely not. Surely the medium can last 11 laps around here.
Well, it's... Oh, yeah. Eh?
Our race director there. Fantastic reaction to the... Does it look like a bit of a check-up there between one of the Red Bulls at the back? Is that... It looks like it's Paul Racetech's Ghost, so whether he can get control of the car, we'll wait and see.
Well, obviously, the hope is, once it gets going, I don't know if it'll be one of them where he's got to wait, for it to start, or...
Yeah, that might be the case. He might get control of the car on the grid. We have had someone random join onto the grid. I'm not sure who that is. But Jel Geeson, the man who wants to make as big an impression on this championship fight. Don't forget, he's 19 points behind Sydney in the drivers' standings. If he gets a good pair of results tonight, he could be right in the thick of the action for the final two races. We've got TTG Nathan just pulling into his pit grid box now, and we've got a sprint race in front of us. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. As the game synchronises itself in the 5 red lights, or 4 in this case, here at Canada. And the sprint is live here in Montreal. Looks like a good start from the two drivers on the front row, but Gel is going to lead comfortably into turn 1. There's contact further back. We'll go back to you on that one, Mikey, in a moment, but it's Shortbread and Beyond the Board going side by side around turn number 2. They get through there quite cleanly. There's a yellow flag. I think that's Paul Racetech's car. Job done. He's not going to be racing, I don't think, in this sprint. Mikey, you saw contact. What did you see?
Yeah, I obviously just not sure what's happening with Paul's car. So I think he's had slight contact with Nitro because Nitro's got some damage.
Yeah.
See who else. Field. I'm just trying to see if anyone else had any. Can't quite see.
No, it doesn't look like it.
No,
We have just briefly seen Paul Racetech going into the barrier as Denmark sliding the rear tyres under the braking zone behind his temporary teammate for tonight. Denmark and the steps we've yet to mention. 2 debutants in IRL tonight. It's good to see them with their old pal Shortbread. I'll talk more about that later on, but Denmark all over the rear spoiler of Kent. So this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time ever in Invictus Racing League, we can say there is a county up against a country in the same team. Fantastic to watch. Oh, Ginger Tiger's in the wall.
Oh, what happened?
He just lost the back end, I think, on the curb, and it's a nightmare start for McLaren. Big damage to the front wing. I don't think, incredibly, there's a safety car for that. But that is McLaren drivers both having 2 broken front wings. Awful start for the team.
Not a great start.
Ashtube and Nathan together. That was a nice overtake, that, from Ashtube. Nathan's going to have the DRS, but I don't think he's going to be able to work a way through there at the moment. But 2 McLarens at the back of the grid. Jel Geeson still leading the way. The top 11 drivers all within DRS of one another. So we are entering the DRS train phase, I feel.
Obviously, it's sort of spread out, half a second between half a second or over of each driver. So, but Kent's just trying to hang on to that DRS at the minute. From what I could see, and obviously Denmark's the same.
Bjorn going to the inside at turn 1. That's a late lunge, but that's lovely and clean. And the Alpine moves. Yeah, Ashtube with the penalty, but Bjorn de Boer moves into the lead of the sprint here. That was a nice clean overtake, that, and I think it's an important one because for these drivers at the front, they don't want to be faffing around too much, I don't think, with the words are escaping me at the moment, but they don't want to be fighting too hard. You've got a DRS train already at the start of this race as Kent separates himself from the second group on the road, so he's left Denmark behind in another country. There's going to be too many puns that I can use for that, but Denmark is a good friend. It's nice to see him out on track, but so far there's been little moves all across the field, but I have a feeling that these two, Bjorn and Jel, are going to try and overtake each other every other lap, I feel.
I suppose that'll make it quite fun, though. Obviously, you don't always get that race where it's just that one person from the front, see you later. So it's nice to see that back and forth. But don't forget, these two are going to have a bit of a... oh, some boy, what's happened there?
Oh, in the wall, at the exit of the wall, a champion chicane. How is that not even a VSC? I'm absolutely shocked. Denmark going late on the brakes up the inside of Milo de Boer, but de Boer has gone past him. So Denmark didn't have any DRS. He's been overtaken by ARL and Milo. So Someboy out of the... I didn't see what happened to Someboy. I just saw the car in the wall. So I think he wasn't... I don't think he was near anybody. I think he's just clipped the curb and round she gone.
Clipped the curb and then it just brought the front round.
Yeah. But again, there's another gap in the field. Look at this. So the top 4 on the hard tyres pulling away from the steps. The other debutant, and he picks up a time penalty just as a cut to him. So this is the key, this race, everybody. Time penalties are going to be the differentiator tonight. Might not necessarily be too dramatic in the sprint, but definitely in the main race, we're going to see those penalties appearing for drivers, and that might make the crucial difference, especially if there's a late safety car.
Question is Owen going to be ballsy enough to go for a move here? Oh, on the inside.
Oh.
Just enough for the fighting room between the two. But no, interesting move to be honest, but yeah.
Don't see side-by-sides often into the chicane. Oh, as Owen gets a twitch on, and the medium shod runner of the steps is going to be back up the inside. I think Owen's going to have to concede the place, and he does.
Got a yellow flag.
What is it, Mike? What do you see?
I'm not sure, I've just got caution.
It is TCG Nathan, who's miles off the road. I'm not sure what's happened to the Aston Martin, but he's back on track, facing the right way.
Has he got any damage, or...?
Thanks to the
None.
brilliance of this game. It doesn't look like it, no.
Fair enough.
But the top four at the moment, Bjorn, Gel, Shortbread and Sydney, the top four, not in that order, but the top four in the drivers' standings, all together.
Wow, Astu going for the move, on the hairpin of 10-11, off the inside, and just managed to whiz through there on Denmark.
That's a solid move. It was, and the worst thing for Denmark is that Astu was behind him going into the hairpin, so he gets DRS, and he'll get it again through the chicane. So Denmark is just going to lose a little bit of time as Milo de Boer goes past Kent, and Owen re-overtakes the steps. This time he's just got to keep it clean on the exit of turn 2. A little wobble, but he's just about
the steps. Little sideways action. Ooh. Obviously, the closest battle here is obviously the Astu one, isn't it? There you go. Astu's got Kent.
Kent's dropping down. Has Kent got front wing damage, Mikey? It looks like
I will
he's dropping down a lot in these last.
I think so. I can't.
No. It just looks to be very, very slow. I'm not really quite. I'm a bit perplexed by it, actually. Back at the front. So Gel lost DRS momentarily. He's got it back now as Denmark moves in front of Kent. But Bjorn de Boer almost outside of the DRS zone here. But Shortbread was alongside the Mercedes on the exit of turn 11. So not sure if Gel's had a little error, but it's giving Bjorn de Boer just a touch of breathing space at the front. The trio have actually dropped Sydney. As Milo and Steps, that's close between the two of them into the chicane at turns 1 and 2.
But Milo in front. Going to be. Sorry, I was going to say. I imagine Yell's going to try and do what he can for redemption. From what happened at Zandvoort. Obviously, to unfortunately lose it on the line to Bjorn, so he's going to be trying to do everything this weekend to, take some revenge and hopefully go for 4 points.
Yeah, he'll want to try and get a race victory, whether that's a sprint or a main race. I think he'd obviously, for the points of the championship, he'd prefer the main race.
But a win to win, mate.
It is, exactly, and I think that's important for him. But the top three have pulled away from Sydney, so Sydney losing that DRS, you can see how powerful it is around this circuit as Milo de Boer moves in front of Owen now. So Milo has come up through the field, actually. We didn't talk much about Milo. His qualifying position wasn't the strongest. He qualified in 14th place. He invalidated his lap time, and he's up to 5th. So in the sprint, he's absolutely flying. So a couple of drivers out of place. I think ARL is another one out of place. He was looking forward to it as the entire sovereign nation of Denmark picks up 3 seconds of time penalties. Trust, I'm going to have too much fun with that. Astrup up 4 places as well. So there is quite a lot going on. The Steps running in 7th place on the meters. ARL has a big twitch through the chicane there at turn number 4 and 5. But this has been an intriguing race so far. We've still got 4 laps after this one to go, and the top 3, I think it's going to be between them for the race victory at the sprint today, because Sydney's over 2 seconds behind, and that DRS is so powerful. I can't fathom a way he'd naturally get back onto this trio unless there's an incident.
I think, to be fair, Sydney's been a bit unlucky since the break. I think that's one thing we can probably agree with. Obviously, you start to see some great performance. It's just, I don't know what's happened. Might be unlucky, or obviously Miami as a whole as well was just, not great for them, unfortunately. But they're still going as such. But Milo's got a 3-second penalty.
So he's not ideal. He's going to have to try and pull a second plus on Owen. He's 1.8 clear at the moment, so he needs to find 1.2 seconds to make that penalty effectively invalid, really. 2 Saubers in close proximity together. I've been watching Kent and Denmark. I still can't fathom what happened to Kent, whether it's just the tyres have gone off on the mediums, because the Steps is under pressure now from ARL, and he was feeling very confident about the race this evening, but he's another one who qualified arguably out of position as we move ourselves into the final third of the sprint action. Runs over the curb, but it shouldn't be a problem. But I think IRL is going to wait for the DRS zone, isn't he?
Best thing to do, to be honest. Use a bit of your battery, full DRS, see you later. Obviously, if he's got it, and then just let the car do the work.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow, that was close to the wall.
Jeez. I've got a spare feeler gauge here. I might just borrow it from him, see if he wants to get any closer to that wall.
I mean, I know that F1 with AWS, they typically run that how close to the wall did the drivers get graphic. I know that the steps, he just gave him all the room on the right-hand side, but IRL thought, no, I'll just squeeze through the smaller gap there, which as drivers we do typically tend to do for reasons that we can't typically explain. But hey-ho, the Racing Bull moves into 7th place, and Ash Tube now is closing that gap right the way down.
3 seconds for Kent, sorry.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that, and I think it's important when we go into the main race not to focus too much on that in the first half, because I think we could be talking about it for years. But look at the closing speed. Ash Tube, I think those mediums, maybe they can't last. Maybe they have no performance, because we're on lap 9 and the step's just struggling compared to the Racing Bulls around him.
Surprisingly, I think the game was actually being legit to us once.
Yeah.
Obviously gives any of the T2 drivers that are currently probably watching the stream at the moment, might give them a bit of an idea what to do for tomorrow evening. So
here comes the Racing Bull down the inside. I don't think the steps is going to fight too hard, and sure enough, he lets the RB, a little bit of a tap in the back, but no major problems there. So the steps, he's in 9th. He's the lead driver on the medium tyre. So that's a little statistic he could take with him in his debut race of IRL. We are on the penultimate lap. Oh, and that's Denmark round, actually. I just saw the Sauber nudge the wall on the exit of turn number 2. He's got away with it, so he should be able to get to the end without any problems.
Any damage?
No, it doesn't look like it. Right then, back at the front. 1 lap to go. The top 3 still just about within a second of one another. They're stretching the limits. I mean, Shortbread does have DRS. He's outside of it right now.
But he'll still have it because
he'll
he's
still
double activation. No, 3 seconds.
And that curtails any race victory opportunities for Shortbread. He should still maintain 3rd place because Sydney's over 5 seconds behind. ARL's not far away from Owen either. Keep an eye on that gap. But Bjorn de Boer, looking for another sprint victory. He won in Brazil, don't forget. With that fabulous race.
With ARL, sorry, he's got the 3-second ball. We've got is that a Sauber? Or? That
is Denmark, who's had another issue there. But you were saying, Mikey?
Sorry, I was about to say, obviously, Owen's just got to get on with it for the rest of the lap, to be fair, because there's a 3-second penalty on ARL. So, if anything, Owen can take his time if he wishes.
Look at this, though. Jel Geeson right behind Bjorn. That's a nice tight... Owen. He is, but that's a tight line, but it was arguably just a touch too tight. And I think Bjorn de Boer might just be able to scamper down the road here. DRS is activated for Jel, but I don't think the Mercedes is going to be close enough. It'll all come down to the exit. Here it turns 13 and 14. Nice and clean through there. I don't think the Mercedes is going to be close enough. It's going to be Bjorn de Boer who takes the sprint victory from Jel Geeson. Shortbread, a very comfortable 3rd place for him on the podium. Sydney will run home in 4th place. It's a double Alpine score for Milo de Boer in 5th place, so a good drive from him. And ARL is not going to finish in 6th place on track. He will, but over the line he won't. So Owen gets the final point for Ferrari.
More points for the Tifosi. They'll be happy with that. Question is, can he convert it in the main race?
Yeah, there's a number of questions to be asked there as we watch the other drivers come through. Well done to Nitro to finish in 11th with his damage. He's done all right with it. Denmark have had a huge twitch on the exit of the final corner.
But to bring it home in
Yeah.
your first one, it's
Yeah.
not bad, to be fair.
No, not bad at all. And here comes Ginger Tiger as well. He swapped onto the soft. Those soft tyres must be absolutely screaming with the tyre wear on display today. But Ginger finishes as well. A bit unlucky with the spin that he had. He lost it into this corner here at turn 1, and he just ended up firing across the road. That's what happens when the car unloads, unfortunately. Gel just saying, couldn't do much. One more off track and he'd have had a penalty. So that would explain it for him. We'll run through the final race results of the provisional ones. Beyond the Board takes the sprint victory from Gel Geeson. Shortbread on the podium too. Sydney with the fastest lap, but doesn't get a point in this one. He's in 4th with Milo and Owen, the last of the point scorers. ARL, Ashtube, the Steps and Kent round out the top 10, with Nitro, Denmark, Nathan and Ginger being the other race finishers. Sunboy went out early on after an incident at turn 14, and Paul Racetech sadly doesn't look like he really had the opportunity to get going.
Not really, mate. Obviously, unfortunately, some issues. So
we are going to wait now. So we'll be waiting for a few minutes before we get things underway. Mikey's saying we go at 20:42. So Mikey, whilst you've said that, I need to mute myself for just a moment. Would you be able to go through the top 10 drivers in the drivers' standings? And someone's readied up.
Oh, you are doing. Oh, God's sake.
Okay.
No, it might be the thing.
It might be you. That's a very good point. It might be that it's just the lobby synchronizing in.
Ah, no. Someone did ready up.
Right. Well, we'll be doing the one-shot quali then, and then we'll have to have the break after that. So less than ideal. Whoever's done that, we'll have to find out. So we'll go on board with somebody. I think we're going to go with Denmark by the looks of things. So towards turn 1 we go. Down through the gears into turn number 2 and then 3. It's important for Denmark to keep the car nice and tidy through here, which he has done. Then short shifting up through the gears and then into the right left. It's a difficult corner to get right. You can cut a little bit of the inside, which he does, and then taps the wall. Not ideal, but it's not going to cause him too much grief. Into turn 6 and 7, another tricky corner on the throttle. Got to just feather it, and then he's on the power. DRS is active on the first part of the lap here, under the little bridge that's here, into the chicane at turns 8 and 9. Again, tidy so far from the Kick Sauber debutant tonight. Under the little bridge there, and then we go into the hairpin, braking at the 100-metre marker, down into second, just a touch wide from Denmark, but then a nice tight exit for the Dayglow Green Sauber. The DRS goes open again here, down towards this iconic straight and into, of course, one of the most iconic corners in Formula 1, turn 13 and 14. Late on the brakes, into 4th gear for the Sauber, across the curb and towards the line. Looks like he could be on the 4th row of the grid for the Sauber man, and it is. But it's Bjorn de Boer on pole position again.
Yeah, it was a brilliant performance from Denmark. Obviously, a few disqualifications, unfortunately. But yeah, it's not gone well, to be honest.
The team are asking whether it's possible to restart qualifying. I think that's a fair assessment.
Right. We'll do that then.
Yeah. I think if you put a message into the group, I think because what we originally agreed upon, everybody, was that we were going to have a one-shot qualifying and a break, before that. Someone has readied up. We don't know who it is that is readied up at the moment. So I think it's only fair that we have a breather, and I think we're going to have a reset as well.
Right, so this notes.
Yeah, so we are going to have a moment. So we'll just exit. We'll let Mikey do his best to try and get this set up. So we'll just give ourselves a few moments. So whilst Mikey is going through